Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by to check out the latest from Sailing Emerald Steel. So Jules and I had an idea that we thought might help keep some of our viewers sane during this time of self-isolation and quarantine. And the idea is...
So now in a very unprecedented times, we are facing the virus pandemic. We decided to share with you what we will do in the next 30 some days, because as all of you know that the virus will be not only a physical sickness but also lots of mental problems. Many people will not be able to take it because, you know, if you are quarantined at home, can go no place, cannot visit your friends and do your things you are usually used to doing it.
Being isolated at home for 30 days can drive a lot of people crazy. We thought it might be a good idea to put yourself through a mental test.
So what we decided is this here. Because it's not a good time to take off cruising, because a lot of countries are closed, that means they will not let you come into a harbor and land it. So you're pretty much stuck where you are. Now, we had an idea to do this here.
And it can be for people that live in a house or an apartment too, if you want to test how you will do on a long voyage.
It is for people who have boats or not have a boat, so live in a house. It is for people who already are cruisers, who already been places, or those who always planned their a lifetime dream. Now, what we propose to do is this thing here. We're going to take an imaginary passage. We will take a passage from in our case, San Diego, west coast of the United States, to Marquesas, French Polynesia, which take an average about 30 days. Now, some boats are faster, some are slower, but also weather is not always the same. So a 30-day passage will be kind of a nice average passage.
Maybe it'll get us through the whole quarantine deal too.
So what we're going to do is this thing here. Because by now, I'm pretty sure everybody already have a stock up of the food and provisions. Doesn't matter where you are. So say we propose voyage for 30 days, and now we like to always have a supply for, in the case of 30 days, we like to have a supply, say, for 60 days, plus additional 2 months, just staples like flour, rice, beans, coffee, etc. Now, if you take these, plus there's some fishing, you can do quite well. Now, what we will do is this. We pretend we are leaving San Diego today for Marquesas. And now what we're going to do is actually going to go to all the steps which required for a cruiser to do. Now, what you have to do during the daytime is, for example, first you start with the food. Because you have a limited amount of food and water, you cannot just go to the store and get what you want. You're pretty much stuck. You're now on the passage.
So you got to plan your recipes carefully. You got to use your fresh goods first so they don't get bad. And then you go to your canned goods, and we'll help you with that too.
And the next thing is you have to also set up how much you're going to be eating. Now, you cannot just eat whatever you want and whatever you want, because if you don't exactly ration properly, then you will end up with nothing on the end, or you will end up with the things you don't like it as much as the other things you just ate already. So you're going to set your daily schedule on the ways of what you're going to do, what you're going to eat. Now remember, food's going to be a big part of the voyage, because the food is very important, so it takes a lot of planning. In our case, Susan's job is to ask me what I have a taste for. I tell her what I like, and she tells me what we can have.
I'll tell you what we're getting.
Exactly, so it kind of works together. Okay.
And because it's a virtual cruise, you should have no problem cooking, because you're not going to be over on your ear like you are on a normal passage.
Now, some suggestions. You would have to take that thing seriously. That means every 2 hours you stick your head out of the hatch, or in the case of a house, you take a look out of the window, you examine the weather, and you write down the logbook. You will write down what kind of wind you have, what direction, what is the sky, if it's clear or it's cloudy. You take all the thing, write down, you write down barometer, and then if you have an SSB radio or what kind of communication you have, you try to listen to the weather report. Now, what you do every single at noontime, 12 o'clock, it will be 12 o'clock your local time. That means as you progressing in the charts, you will have to change the time.
As you go through the different time zones.
As you go to the different time zones, you will have to change the time. But go from here to Marquesas is not all that much of changing of time. But anyway, at 12 o'clock, exactly noon, you'll have to take a position. So what you do, you take your GPS out, you write it down the position, and then, for example, say an average cruising boat will make about 120 miles a day. Now, 120 miles, yes, there are faster boats, again, slower boats.
We want to go on a long, slow cruise.
Yeah, you don't want to get there too fast.
It's gotta be like 30-day trip here.
So, say you're making 120 miles a day, so you take a chart and you actually mark it from your position today till tomorrow at noon, 120 miles off, you make an X. If you use a paper chart or whatever way you're going to do it.
Or your chart plotter.
You mark it. And then on you continue every day till you come to doldrums, and then in doldrums you pretend the winds die.
And you're not going to motor.
You're not going to be motoring. But if you motor, you can. But what you have to do, you have to count the hours and deduct the amount of fuel you use from your total fuel you carry. And that goes same thing for your generator. If you want to charge your battery, now remember, if you're in a marina, what you're going to have to do if you want to really experience, you have to unplug your electrical cord from the from the grid. And what you do when your battery starts running low, because say your solar panels don't give you enough juice for what you used to it, then you're going to go and plug your cord back in for a time you would use a generator. Now, the reason why you do that is because you don't want to be wasting your fuel if you don't have to.
Or using a generator and annoying the hell out of your neighbors at the dock.
So you plug your cord in and you count how many hours you use, and you can deduct the amount of fuel you've been using from your tanks in the case of running a generator, but in reality that's what you'll be using outside. Now, to be really realistic about the passage, and not only realistic but also get you some exercise, you should every day go out on the deck, lift your mainsail up once or twice a day, lift your jib up, try to put a reef or two into your sails. Not only you practicing, but you really see how the voyage would be, and this way you're going to get a lot of exercise.
Actually, when you're on an ocean passage, you get a lot of exercise without even realizing it. Just the movement of the boat, and you're constantly, tightening your muscles. It gives you a lot of exercise. But right now, where we are, I want to exercise every day, so I do like 100 jumping jacks. It's easy to do when the boat's not moving, and I do a lot of side bends and so forth for my back. And gotta do what you gotta do. Whatever you can do on the boat that you've got room to do, you should do it.
So bottom line is you gotta keep busy, because like Susan says, when you're in a passage, real passage, you get a plenty exercise, because not only when you're not sleeping, but even when you sleep, you not realize that subconsciously boat rolls, so you constantly try to brace yourself, so you're pretty much exercising 24 hours a day.
And another thing is, if you want to lose weight right now, it could be a good time to try to lose weight, because you can limit your intake, try to ration out your food so it lasts as long as possible, just thinking that maybe this is going to go for longer than you planned, and
who knows, you might even enjoy it. If you want to take it truly realistic, you have to take your watches, which will be the hardest part of the voyage, because you don't have to worry about going through any kind of storms or a very bad weather, because naturally you're going to be
tied to your dock or sitting in your apartment.
Okay, but you have to take very seriously the watching, and that is going to be very hard. Say if you only 2 people, to be 3 hours on and 3 hours off, or 4. The first couple of nights is not so bad, but after a while it gets to be very bad. But if you truly want to know for the future, if you like to go cruising or not, I give you some first-hand experience. What is that all about?
We thought it would be a really good exercise for those people that never went on a long cruise, to see what it's like when you're right now in self-imposed isolation. If you like it, actually, because that's pretty much what it's like when you go on a long passage. You are alone together with your significant other, or alone by yourself, or whatever, and you have to see how you're going to be able to mentally handle it, because some people just can't handle it.
And always remember, when it's get to be very hard and you think it's very hard, just think how much better off you are. Again, as I said it before, if you be on the land, you have to worry about getting a virus and getting sick and so on and so forth. So I think in a certain way there's a lot of blessings to be in the middle of the ocean. Now, what you're going to have to do is this thing here. You'll have to tell all your friends and everybody concerned, your families, and you are leaving, and no one can come visit you, nor you're going to be able to visit them. You accomplish 2 things again. You accomplish the fact that you're not going to get sick from them, and they're not going to get sick from you. It's going to be a good exercise, which I believe if you stick with it, on the end you will be very happy. Now, once you come to marqueses on your chart, you check the news how the virus doing it. Now,
You'll be checking it every day, I'm sure.
now we are 30 days away from the time. If the virus still is as bad as it is today, and you cannot do nothing about it, just pretend you will refuse entry into Marquesas. So somehow you're going to get a resupply through Port Authority, which in your case you can have somebody deliver food to your place. And then you turn around and repeat the voyage coming back to your home on the west coast of the United States. Again, you would have to sail via Hawaii up to the west coast till you pick up westerlies and go. Now, to help you, to those of you who want to try it, you can actually go and start watching our videos when we leave San Diego for Marquesas. We pretty much describe on a daily basis how we go there, and also from French Polynesia returning back to the west coast via Hawaii. So they will kind of give you an idea, and you can kind of imagine how you would be throughout the passage. Now, some of you might think it's a very corny, but remember that much.
Or crazy, but...
Now remember that much. It is as much a mental game as is a physical. A lot of people, actually most people, will not be very, very much hurt with that virus. A lot of people might get infected, but not be very, very much
get
get very much sick. But mentally, we're all in the same boat. Mentally, it's going to be harder, actually, than getting sick. Because, as you know, dying is not the hard part. It's how you die. It's a problem. And your mental anguish, thinking all the worst scenarios, it will be really, really
hard. It's hard on people.
Yeah,
it's actually a good exercise for your mind to imagine what it's like to be out in the ocean for such a long time, because some people just can't get through that.
So we decided to share with you. Then you can play a game, which would be a life-saving game. And I believe that together we can get over that virus, because we will try to stay healthy, safe, and away from all the problems of the society. And in the end, you might even learn something how is on a voyage.
And don't forget to let us know what your destination is going to be and your virtual voyage, so we can kind of follow along with you.
You can write us on YouTube under comments how you're progressing, and according to your comments, we can make another video down the road if we feel it would be helpful to our viewers.
Okay, guys, so I guess that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video and got something out of it. Please don't forget to leave a comment and a thumb up if you liked it.
Not so much if you enjoyed it as if you got something out of it, because that thing can be actually a lifesaver if you take it seriously.
Yep, and we'd also like to thank all of you that support our channel through Patreon and PayPal. Appreciate your support, guys, and we will see you all next time. So take care out there.
Bye,
guys. A little after 6 a.m. April 28th, and after like a week's delay because we had some pretty strong southerly winds, we're departing our mooring in San Diego. It looks like a beautiful day. Julius is just untying our line, and we'll be heading to the Marquesas. Hopefully we're going to have a wonderful trip, and we'll be bringing you along with us so you can be enjoying it with us.